Consultants on Call, Solving Organizational Communication Problems. Welcome to the Morgan and Sankaya case study by SunGroup. Over the next few minutes, we will discuss various aspects of this case study in our recommendations. But first, let's meet the team. Meet the SunGroup team. Shelby Fulton, Strategic Solutions Consultant. Shelby brings 2 years of professional experience in customer service, specializing in client communication and reception management. She is skilled in handling high-volume phone interactions, providing administrative support, and maintaining a welcoming environment for clients and colleagues alike. Natalie Cherukian, Lead Research Consultant. Natalie has over 30 years of forensic accounting and business consulting, servicing clients in various industries from California to New York.
Well, hello. Here we have our case overview. So in the forming stage of Tuckman's model, new teams often struggle with uncertainty and unclear communication patterns. At Sankaya, we have Morgan, who joined a group that lacked that lacked structure, direction, and trust. So as we learned back in our chapter 7, an organization's communication climate sets the tone for how teams build trust and interact. Because Sankaya's climate was tense and unstructured, Morgan's first priority had to be reestablishing openness and consistency in communication. Going back to our chapter 6, we also know that diversity and inclusion strengthen problem solving. Morgan needed to help this new team recognize individual perspectives as assets rather than barriers, which is a critical mindset for the forming stage. As an outside coach and not a permanent team member, Morgan's role was to guide the group through orientation and trust building. So the first two stages, that was the first two stages of the team performance model. The team's early dysfunction that was marked by competition, poor cohesion, and unethical suggestions did show that performance could improve. But first, Morgan needed to establish a healthy communication and in a climate grounded in structure, transparency, and trust. And moving on, I'm going to turn this over to Shelby, she will discuss the key concepts.
So for the key concepts in this case study, it seems apparent that groupthink is highly at play. The first bullet being team feeling that they can't fail. One reason for the team coming up with unethical ideas can be due to need to be successful. And one way to do that without putting too much thought into an idea is by being unethical. The other is not seeing the warning signs. It seems that the team does not see that their ideas are unethical. This also plays into not being able to see right from wrong. The group sees the outsider as bad. This is at play when the members are not understanding why Morgan was brought onto the team. It also seems that the members are not sharing their own opinions. I feel there could be people who see that the ideas are unethical, but due to not feeling trust in their team, they're too scared to say their opinions. This goes on with the same idea as members being silent and everyone just agreeing with ideas. Also seems that one person or few people are making the decisions for the team. All these symptoms make us believe that groupthink is at play. Another concept at play is risky shift, which means members take more risk in a group than they would if they were going to do this individually. We believe that the individuals, in this case, they would never withhold pay from workers or give themselves raises. This is due to being at higher risk to do so once individually. Whereas in a group, if they did get punished, they would be punished as a group, not individually. Another key concept is social loafing, which is when members do less work in a group when they would in an individual project. With groupthink being present in the case study, it's hard for real unique ideas to flow. That being said, everyone is going to do everything as a group, meaning less work for the individual, less need for communication and research or tasks to happen. Everyone agrees and goes with the flow of the group decisions. And we can go on to the next slide. Awesome. So the next slide is analyzing of communication strategies. In this case study, the communication is poor due to groupthink at play and unethical behavior. A few group rules that are present are followers. This person follows what the group says, mostly just as an audience to the group discussions and doesn't say anything. And then we have the aggressor, which is most likely at play due to aggressor feeling they need to take down the other people's ideas to feel better about themselves. The self-confessor is most likely at play because this person talks about their personal problems and make it a group problem. We think this is at play because their one idea was to give themselves pay increases. This could be due to them feeling they deserve the raise. And then the playboy, playgirl could be a part of the group because they do not care about the group and they like to tell people that they don't care. The dominator is a person who dominates the decisions that happen in the group, which helps develop groupthink. They will control the ideas and communications. The help seeker likes to confuse the group and stress insecurities. This could be at play because people feel they need to go the unethical way due to personal insecurities. All these roles are due to poor communication and lack of trust. Now to the roles that Morgan could assign that we think would be helpful in the group would be the interior contributor. They help with giving new ideas and giving prompts for brainstorming. Morgan in the beginning could be this role once trust is built. She could give prompts to help healthy brainstorming to take place. She could also take the role of information seeker due to them bringing in information that is correct. This role will be giving prompts that give accurate information. A role that could be assigned would be the opinion giver. This person is focused on staying true to the group and the company's values. This would be good for when an ethical idea is suggested. The opinion giver can point out if it goes with the group values. The elaborator is there to help dig deeper into an idea to see if the idea truly would work. The evaluator critic is a person who helps make sure the team is staying true to their basic level of standards. They can help make sure that the group isn't using easy or quick solutions to get to their goals. The encourager is the team cheerleader. They help inspire everyone to come up with new ideas and give compliments. And the last role would be the co-promiser. They help see if ideas disagree with the other ideas. The thought behind the co-promiser is to help build on ideas and make decisions that are more educated. Chapter 9.4 has a lot of roles that would be helpful, but these are the ones that stood out to us the most. These roles would help remove groupthink, risky shift, and social loafing. And we can move on to the next slide.
Great. Thank you, Shelby, for going over the key concepts and analysis of communication strategies. So next up, we have our outcomes and lesson learned. And that would be when Morgan began coaching at Sankaya, the team was stuck in the storming stage of Tuckman's model, where frustration, competition, and conflict dominated communication. Morgan quickly recognized several self-centered roles as described by Bean and Sheets, which were aggressors, dominators, and recognition seekers. So these behaviors, along with groupthink and social loafing, prevented collaboration and accountability. When using the team performance model, Morgan focused first on trust building and then goal clarification, which did help the team move from storming toward norming. As trust increased, members began collaborating more openly and ethically. And this directly connects to our chapter 7, where we learned that a positive communication climate fosters openness, respect, and shared understanding. So by rebuilding that climate, Morgan helped reestablish psychological safety and honest dialogue, but it also reflects chapter 8's ideas on organizational identity and how a group's internal values shape its external reputation. And by redefining its values around teamwork and ethics, the Sankaya team began to rebuild both its internal identity and its credibility within the organization. But ultimately, the team's lesson was clear, and that is progress and performance depend on trust, collaboration, and shared values, definitely not shortcuts. And I'm going to turn this over to Shelby. Would you like to go ahead and discuss how this ties into our other chapters?
Yes. Oh no. Oh, okay. Sounds good. So when looking at last week's concepts of identity, culture, and image, the results of step 1, which is group discussions. If the group did go with the unethical idea to not pay their workers, then this reflects on the culture's identity, culture, and image. It is important in a group discussion to have roles that remind the group about the company's values so the ideas used stay true to the organization. And then for globalization diversity, it's important for groups to have diversity. This would help with coming up with diverse and unique ideas. It is also important to have ideas that keep in mind globalization. This will help with increasing sales and profits globally. The group is participating in horizontal communication due to the fact that they are all on the same hierarchy level. Due to them having the same level of power, it's very easy for a group to be a part of groupthink, social loafing, and risky shifts. It is more important in a horizontal communication team to have roles that keep everyone accountable. And then we can go on to the next slide.
Great, thank you. Yes, thank you, Shelby. Here we have our group types, and before we can understand the group's dysfunction, it is important to identify what type of team Sankaya represents. So this is a work team. They are a group responsible for daily operations and ongoing performance rather than a temporary project or advisory group. As Chapter 9.1 explains, work teams are essential for organizational success, but require strong communication and shared accountability. Because all members are on the same hierarchy level, their structure reflects horizontal communication, which should encourage collaboration and open dialogue. However, the absence of clear leadership and defined roles caused the team to fall into groupthink, risky shift, and social loafing behaviors. So Morgan's role as an outside coach was to help the group rebuild trust and structure, guiding them from storming to performing in Tuckman's model. This perspective helped explain both the team's early challenges and the strategies used to rebuild effective communication. So what are the recommendations for Sankaya? Well, to start, the main recommendation should focus on strengthening Sankaya's communication climate. Morgan should apply Tuckman's team development stages and the team performance model to track the group's growth from forming to performing. These frameworks help identify where the team stands and what support is needed to move forward. In Chapter 5, that was discussed that effective horizontal communication ensures collaboration and equal participation, which allows all members to contribute to decision-making. Establishing tasks and maintenance roles, as described by Vina Sheets, helps ensure accountability and prevent dominance and disengagement. And I'm going to take it back. I'm going to go to our other class, which is BASM 301. And going back to Gallup's leadership principles, Morgan can coach each employee through their individual strength. What Gallup defines as, quote unquote, a recurring pattern of thought, feeling, or behavior that can be productively applied. This approach builds trust and engagement while improving productivity. Regular coaching sessions reinforce ethics and shared goals, while open forum meetings promote diverse ideas and reduce groupthink. In connection with Chapter 8, Morgan should help leadership strengthen the organization's ethical identity, rewarding collaboration over self-promotion. And by maintaining feedback loops, the team can continue to build trust, transparency, and sustainable performance long after Morgan's role ends. And Shelby, take it away.
Yes. So for our visual, we're going to look at the team performance module. So when looking at this team performance module, which we can see in chapter 9.1, we can see that what the steps that make a successful team. The first being orientation. This is where the people in the team come together to perform a task. This starts with Morgan and the other people coming together to perform the task of finding ways to get sales and max profits. 2 would be when trust is formed. This stage is lacking in the case study due to the unethical ideas of the other members. But if Morgan can get away from groupthink, divide up roles, build trust, then the team can move on to other levels successfully. The third being figuring out goals and vision. The goals would be finding ways to maximize profit, generate sales, and finding ways to think outside the box. 4, once trust and goals are figured out, we can start to effectively communicate who is doing what in the group. The reason this level is not working out is due to members feeling too scared to speak out on different perspectives. But that's where the different roles come into play. Being able to divide who does what in brainstorming sessions will make this step effective. The 5th step is being able to apply the task given in the brainstorming sessions to see what works and what does not work for the team. The 6th is high performance. Morgan Group has not gotten near this stage yet, but when the team sees all their hard work that they've been putting into the team paying off, but this is when people see that. Burnout is is apparent in this stage. Due to pushing everyone too far can happen, but it's important to rotate each task. The last stage is renewal. Should the team do this again? Should new people be added? Morgan's team is struggling in the first few stages, but hopefully once the issue of communication is resolved, it can make it better for a performing team. And then we'll go on to key takeaways. So for the takeaways, groupthink, risky shift, and social loving makes for poor performing team. Having clear roles helps build accountability, ethical ideas, and a stronger team. And then trust and structure is key to having a successful team.
Yes, so ultimately what this case shows is that communication determines culture. When groupthink, risky shift, and social loafing dominate, performance does suffer. But when a team applies structure through clear roles and builds trust, as stressed in Tuckman's and the team performance model, they move from conflict toward collaboration and growth. So in other words, structure and trust are not just processes, they are the foundation for ethical and effective teamwork. And lastly, we have our MLA references. We looked back at the chapters we've read from Wrench and used our book from the BASM 301 course, which was First Break All the Rules by Gallup. And although we did not need to list all of our references, we thought it would be helpful for you to see exactly where we drew information from. So thank you guys for stopping by and watching our presentation. We truly appreciate you.
Thank you.